they came out on top, it wasn't the type of win that they were aiming for, surely.
I think it's product of the Sven. Sven generally doesn't have a explosive laning stage. If you compare it to Tiny, Tiny is a hero that could start killing very early in the game. At the same time, though, I think Tiny would have had a lot of trouble in that lane, having the very low base armor against Prophet. So I think Sven
was a really good pick.
Really good pick because they survived the laning stage.
Yeah.
They weren't gonna come out and kill everybody, and that's okay because I think the strategy was able to scale a little bit more to the mid and late game. But Travis started.
We got
Yep,
it, Draft.
it's your time.
What happens?
Game number 2 is coming at you any second now.
Straight up, the bans from DC. Getting rid of the Nature's Prophet actually themselves this time. And the Sand King, as I do like the fact that they are banning that Sand King. I know that they did obviously lose the last game, but still just not having to deal with Moose SK.
10 seconds remaining.
Overall, a little easier. And then Complexity, actually, with the Night's Gun, they do ban out the Venge. We know that DC themselves have liked to play it. And again, it is one of those heroes that, I can't remember who we talked to, but one of the captains was saying, you know, it is a nice hero to open up the draft with because you have that surprise element in where exactly it's going to fall. DC as well, a bit of respect. They take out the puck.
Yep.
Freak played it pretty hot last game. And also, again, another one of those heroes that Complexity have multiple players who can perform on it.
Apparently also in a support role.
Yeah. Z-Freak, Limp. I remember seeing him playing some incredible puck performances in past rosters.
So, there's still Winter Riven, I was going to say. There's still a Beastmaster. Lumi, you said you were looking forward to seeing that hero. I was still in the pool as well, as we saw EG banning that out against Complexity in all their games. And Lich was first phase banned previously by Complexity. I don't know if they want to do something with that, but that is still in the pool as well.
I like that. If you want to grab the Beastmaster, you definitely want to pick up the Wyvern first. Because, first of all, she's such a good laner and teamfight hero. That's why we see teams prioritize her so much. And second, you don't want a Beastmaster into the Wyvern, because you go for the roar, you go for the kill, and then Wyvern is such a good counterplay. So you want to pick up the Wyvern first, and then Beastmaster if you see fit.
Yeah, I would. DC, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take that Beastmaster, unless Complexity ban it.
5 seconds
So,
remaining.
You know, MSS, you know, he does do a lot on sort of the split push like the Nature's Prophet. Obviously, they ban that out themselves, and I think the next go-to hero has to be Beastmaster. coL, they get the coL Kunkka.
All right, I just put it on a 5, and now I'm switching again because the Kunkka is definitely gonna be the 5.
Ooh, and we have the Boba Clockwork picked up. That was a star hero yesterday in the game where Boba played it as the 4 position.
It could be, but they could also do the MSS block.
True.
He's very good. If not, maybe recently you could argue a little bit more of a high performer on the clockwork on the off lane.
Definitely a flex pick.
Yeah, which is that's the strength for them. And a lot of these very popular heroes that you don't really quite know as the opposition where they're going to go, and DC themselves most certainly not settle on. There's no reason to. They can wait, see what pans out with the draft, and make those alterations as needed to get the favorable lanes.
So we have a Lifestealer ban by Complexity in the next phase.
5 seconds
And
remaining.
both teams have a kind of open draft. I like that. Although, I guess Jakiro is a little bit less conventional to move around.
I think Jakiro is definitely a good hero to pick up against DC overall. DC just want to fight so early, and Jakiro is probably one of the strongest level 1 heroes. Dual Breath as a spell is just amazing in terms of both like dealing a ton of damage and also making sure they can't hit you back because of the attack speed slow that Dual Breath has. So won't be surprising to see Kyle on it anymore and just kind of secure safely. And unlike a hero like Undying, he actually does something once you get to like level 6 or 7.
Dire team ban.
Pain ban. Ready, you know, so I think looking at sort of this Kunkka lineup, and Kunkka very good, of course, for enabling the Queen of Pain's rotations early on. Just being able to have that sort of control. Anytime the DC get too close to a tower, having the X mark buys more than enough time for someone like a Queen of Pain to TP in and chase down a kill opportunity. And also good high amounts of damage, high amounts of magic burst that can just ignore that cold embrace and still get the kill done.
Viper ban there for complexity.
Dire team pick.
And a Mirana removed by Digital Chaos.
DC's
Is this all still in reaction to you feel like the picks that were done?
Oh.
Or are these bans already setting up for something for Digital Chaos going forward?
I mean, what they're banning out? Yeah, I think just it's all high magical burst predominantly because of the fact they have
Cold Embrace, yeah.
They want to
10
make sure that this
seconds
cold embrace
remaining.
is going to do a lot. But despite those bans, high magical burst still gets
Sorry.
through.
5 seconds remaining.
Complexity
They're
are able
tiny.
to get the complexity tiny, which I feel like we just haven't seen as much as people have been talking about. We know this hero loves it. There's the Beastmaster for DC that, as we've said, it was pretty much a guaranteed hero pick unless it was banned out for DC this game. They protected it, as Lumi mentioned, with that Wyvern opening, and they'll grab it. And indeed, that confirms, as you were saying, it will be the
10
Bulba Clock.
seconds
And
remaining.
MSS on his Beastmaster, quick picks.
Woo!
Complexity.
Oh my God, where's Beastmaster?
Ooh.
And the IO comes out as well.
Tiny IO. I got
All
to say,
right, moving it back mid.
complexity, Yeah,
Yep.
these guys are some of the best with the tiny IO combination. I'll be very intrigued to see how DC deal with this. But
10
these guys,
seconds remaining.
we've seen how tight their team performance is, and if there was ever a duo that you can
5 seconds
absolutely
remaining.
excel on having that sort of synergy between the teammates, Tiny IO is going to be it.
Yep.
We know they're so good at it. I think already, DC, they've got to have a good answer for this. And for sure, with the Beastmaster, they're heroes. They can deal with the Tiny IO. You have good ways of locking down the IO, catching him out. You have that Wyvern with the Winter's Curse. That can be a bit of a nightmare for the IO to play around. So I guess, DC, they may have sort of been expecting this, and with their lineup, they know that they have ways to play around it. But even so, coL's Tiny IO will have been against things much worse than this, and it has the potential to be very, very strong.
Yeah, Wyvern in particular is pretty good against
Yeah.
Tiny Tile in particular because you just drop the curse on IO, and if Tiny has a trick pre-pickup, the Wisp just dies.
Yeah.
So it's just a
I think the bigger problem is the fact that the dual lane is really, really strong. And I think Complexity runs this dual lane better than anybody else.
Yeah.
So it really puts a lot of pressure right now on Boba to pick a mid hero that could survive that combo because you're not killing that lane because it's two heroes. You're not really out regening that lane because the bottle and tether is so strong. So I'm not really sure what Boba could pick
Dire
that could
team
go well
bans.
against this IO Tiny. And they even have the late game now secure with the Medusa. So
Yep.
looking like a very powerful draft.
I mean, I like Digital Chaos drafts, sure, but they're still an IO Tiny from Complexity. I think in any draft, even if on paper it doesn't look as strong, the moment that I
10
see it's
seconds
Complexity playing
remaining.
it, I would be a little bit worried.
Yeah, I mean,
5
as
seconds
I suppose we
remaining.
talk about that strength that they have, I do like what DC's doing. Having Medusa and Wyvern can be really nice in the team fights.
Mhm.
With that Winter's Curse into pretty much surefire Stone Gaze setup, as long as the Medusa can find the positioning. And at the end of the day, you are guaranteed pretty much, as long as you get the Winter's Curse on a couple of units, you're going to Stone Gaze someone, and you should be able to find the kill after the Winter's Curse melts off.
So the reason that Medusa is definitely a good pick on the mid lane is that
Turn
the
to
Mystic
ban.
Snake bouncing on heroes and the ramp of the mid lane has recently got reduced. So I think the bounces is going to hurt pretty nicely. And of course, you could actually get Stone Gate or get the Mana Shield, get an early point into your Mana Shield and Snake, and you should
10
be okay.
seconds
I think
remaining.
Mystic Snake alone won't be able to do it. You still need help, but it's a good
5
start.
seconds remaining.
So I'm expecting, like, for example, Clockwork to bump into lane from time to time. Wyvern maybe to start there for a little bit. But Medusa is probably one of the stronger heroes to pick in the current meta against this dual lane.
And final ban from Complexity, just again targeting a hero that would be a bit of a nightmare for the IO this
DC's
game.
turn to pick.
Would certainly be one of them. Actually, final ban from DC going to be that Timbersaw. Again, another hero that is great against the Winter Wyvern. You have got a couple of strength melee heroes that are a bit of a nightmare to utilize, and any sort of hero that's going to
10
be able to have
seconds
enough beef
remaining.
and fight potential to make it hard for a Medusa to get the job done in a fight
5
is
seconds
worth taking
remaining.
out of the pool.
DC ban Timbersaw.
DC banned
DC ban.
Timbersaw.
I was gonna say DC could make work of a Timbersaw, right? Really good against
Yeah, if they wanted to
triple
have
strength
played
hero,
it,
Yeah.
it could have been good for their lineup.
They're going for the Storm instead.
All right. So now we're gonna move the.
Okay, so Medusa is going.
Well,
to
here's the
that
thing, though.
flank
Do you safe lane the Storm here? Because I don't think
I don't-
Storm has any like I don't think he'll survive mid.
Nah,
Storm
I mean
against
that. Yeah,
Airfire?
I agree that the Storm is going to be in a bit of danger. But I think they'll just send a second
10
hero mid.
seconds
But
remaining.
Mason is really known for safe lane Storm. I'm gonna put
Okay.
him. I'm gonna put him
5
safe lane, but
seconds
I
remaining.
okay,
I
we'll see.
definitely could be wrong here.
Could be some DC speciality that the slips are on this one, Louis.
Yeah.
We'll see it.
Mason's good in safe lane Storm, and I don't think Storm could go mid. So
Okay.
I'm gonna take a gamble here and prepare to be wrong.
Yeah, good call.
Is Complexity's draft, sorry, Digital Chaos draft a little bit on the greedy side?
I wouldn't say so. I think it's
No?
got good balance. I mean, sure, Storm and Medusa do both need farm, but as we've heard from like Crit and such, that is seeming to be the way to play the game at the moment.
Yeah.
Having these two cores that can farm up, Medusa with the split shot, Storm with the remnants, you can make very good use of cleaning out your jungle as long as you
Yeah.
can keep control of it. Now I think having Medusa and Storm that can be a very strong dual core, and it is again it's one of those core heroes that IO absolutely hates to go up against.
Yeah. All right, so what does Complexity need? Is there one hero that could fix all their problems? Because the draft of Digital Chaos seems mostly tailored towards dealing with the IO Tiny. What is a hero that they would not be able to deal with?
I think.
They don't have that much lockdown.
Well, I mean, the X-Fire can have lunches nice, but you're right. Maybe something else with further control could do something. I'm trying to think how they are going to lineage because you do imagine it's going to be Limp's Tiny,
Yeah.
and then obviously with the IO, it's looking to be the Jikiro core, which will. I don't know where they'll send that. I don't know if they'll do it Chessie because he has played it in the past for Colin. They look towards Moo's hero. Obviously with the bans from DC, I mean, again, the Timbersaw could be played by both sides on both players on both lanes. So they do have that flexibility still with the Jikiro where that's going to sit in and which lanes they're going to look to try and get these favorable matchups.
Ooh,
You may now
an
select
axe.
Okay.
your
Okay,
heroes.
so it almost certainly what will be Chessie playing the Jikiro, Moo playing the Axe. Indeed, it is. So it is this Chessie Jikiro that we know they love. Looks like they will sell for Mason Medusa and quite for Storm, but it is going to be very interesting to see how that mid lane plays out and how they do make sure that Qualifier doesn't get absolutely destroyed by Limp and Z-Freak. There's going to have to be some heavy camping mid from either Bulba or Jimmy.
By the way, IO level 15 gonna be super hype. Kunga getting that bolt upgrade, Chessie
That's
getting
true.
that Jakiro ult upgrade, and same thing with the axe. I'm not sure how many
But-
times we're gonna see.
It'll be interesting to see because I've heard a lot of people are saying that as cool as that sounds, apparently the 90 damage on the spirits, which is the alternate one,
Yeah.
is like that is really good as well.
Yeah.
So as
Alright.
everyone sort of goes to, I would love to see the Axe one, as that's much more entertaining.
Yeah, sure. I want
But,
to see when axe dunks somebody, all the battle hunger
Yeah,
comes out.
spread out. I'd love to see it. I want to see if he does
Right.
it, but I think he might go for the spirit damage from what
Lumi,
Complexity, they run the best IO tiny dual lane.
I got to go complexity as well. I think this
Complexity
tiny
as
IO is
well
gonna
for
do some
me.
Magic.
with that being said, the game's on the way over to Capitalist and Grant.
Oh, hey there, Capitalist.
Hey,
How's it going?
It's going good. How are
That's
you,
good.
Grant?
I'm pretty good. Just casting some NA Dota. I mean, Complexity wins this. We could have EG coL again. DC takes us to a game 3. What's hyper than a game 3 besides a game 5?
At game 7.
Oh my goodness. The
Oh,
Fable best
the
of 7 in
Fable.
Dota that we saw one time in Chinese Dota where they took a lunch break halfway through. That was great.
Oh, that hour-long break was actually the most anti-hype thing ever.
IO Tiny, they said. Is
Yes.
this the game changer? Will coL win?
I thought that DC's lineup was perfectly fine against Complexity. I was actually okay with giving up the Tiny Wisp, even though coL, the best in the business with it, because they got Beastmaster and then the Dusa. I think the Dusa was a really good answer to the Tiny Wisp. But then they did this safe lane Storm that's
Well, they
now
didn't.
turned into Mid-Storm. Okay,
Pardon me.
okay. Sorry. So it's going to
Forgive
be a safe lane Dusa who's actually in the off lane, right? So does that make me feel any different?
I mean, you said just overall Storm Medusa very greedy, and
Yeah,
then
it's-
Complexity on their side is the least greedy team I've ever seen.
It's super hard to see how both Storm Spirit and Dusa are going to be able to get the farm that they need to stop the, like, I would say 20 to 30 minute window where Complexity is going to be super strong and running over heroes. That being said, the more I looked at the Storm Spirit, the more I felt that it was going to be a pretty good Storm game, just simply because of the fact that Complexity really didn't have the disables to be able to deal with Storm Spirit very well. Pretty much all came down to the Tiny. And the last pick was always going to be I think, or at least I thought it was going to be a hero that was going to not add a whole lot to being able to shut down the Storm. They ended up getting the Axe, which is obviously a nice blink disabler. Does give you something extra against the Storm Spirit.
But they do just have a Tiny for physical damage, right? I mean, IO Tiny obviously is quite a bit. Do you think it'll be in? I mean,
it's gonna be tough.
When does coL want to end this game by? Like right there, they're on the timer if anyone is.
I would say like 45, 50 minutes. That may sound a little late, but what I anticipate is the complexity more than anything. I think their timing of taking tier 2s is more important. They need to be able to take out almost all the tier 2s in the game by like 25 minutes, I would say, and start really controlling the map very well. Build an advantage, because pushing for high ground is going to be very difficult with only the Tiny to be able to do it for you. And you've got Wyvern, Beastmaster, I would say even Clock, and the biggest one is Dusa. I would say 4 of those heroes are very good at being able to defend high ground against heroes that are looking to siege. And then Storm Spirit is obviously most dangerous when you're closest to his base.
And talking about greedy, both cores get the runes on DC, and both supports actually get the runes on complexity, which is pretty rare. I mean, IO getting a rune, okay, that's to be said, but coL taking a rune as well. Interesting. And top lane, we see Moo. I mean, he's not going to die, but he will get harassed heavily. Arctic Burn, one of the best level 1 skills, especially from like a 5 support in the game.
I was with Lumi. I thought it was going to be the Dusa mid against the Tiny Wisp, because I thought that would have been better for...
That snake's super good.
Yeah, super good against any sort of melee hero, even better against dual lanes.
Maybe Medusa's just not a Qualifier hero and they just didn't feel comfortable like switching up heroes or lanes like that, I guess. But it will be aggro up there, so it's going to be an MSS Beastmaster versus a Chessie 1v1 solo, and whoa. There we go. Tiny's actually going to toss Storm back. They're going to go for it. He goes to a creep. Unfortunately, will Qualifier go down or will Limp? It looks like someone's going down, and it more than likely is going to be Limp. It is. coL has the torrent. Unfortunately, it is on cooldown. He missed the first one. Z-Freak's trying to right-click Qualifier down. Will it work? He's trying
nice
to.
Turn, Qualifier.
Goodness, and he doesn't get it, though. And it's going to be a possible 3-for-0 trade. No, coL. Woo. Bulba. Man down. Oh, wait up. He gets them. Demon with the snipe double kill. And that's a 3-0 trade early.
Jimmy's like, don't worry about it, Bulba. You may kick me once. No hard feelings, though. I'll cover up for your mistake.
I got the count. Look at this. Bulba is so... I love how quick he rotates top to steal that rune from the Axe.
Yep. No one can challenge. There are very few heroes that can stand toe-to-toe with the Clockwork. And in this game, no one is going to be able to challenge Clockwork for runes. So that was, what a play though from Bulba coming in initially with the cogs. That was so good. They recognize that they really have to help out that middle lane, and they can leave Mason alone, obviously, anytime they want. So they can double rotate on mid constantly. I would even say a rotation to bottom lane is going to be in the future here for DC. Pretty much anything but top. They just don't really need to mess around with this lane too much.
But we see Limp is still quite a little bit higher level than Quake, but even after that 3-0 Z-Freak level 2, he still has to be careful. If you get tossed back again, now that he's getting higher levels, it can be much deadlier. And, Moo, little pushed out. All right, he'll just take the rune, go the other way. Say that should be that middle lane. Arctic Burn just gonna harass him. We were talking about how Mason and Arteezy play heroes very similarly. It's much different. Limp still goes the extremely heavy magic, just the 4-4 build. Instead of the farming build. Like Limp and Arteezy play Tiny nothing alike, unlike the other two, which is fun. Everyone loves seeing that bottom lane. We have the torrent going on. Does Chessie have enough damage? It is the level 2 dual breath, level 1 liquid fire. He's trying to juke, uses the boar very nicely, and MSS will just get away.
coL has actually been relatively successful at challenging the Beastmaster, which is surprising to me. I thought Beastmaster would
middle lane, the toss to the tower again. They get the slow. Tower's gonna hit one more time. Do they have the damage? Sure looks like it. What a cold embrace by Demon. They need to be careful. Limp toss him in the air. Doesn't toss him back this time. Get a square up on him, but does have the level 1 overcharge. And Demon, my friend, you are out of mana. He is just manning up. Guess what? Z-Freak will take both those kills, and he is taunting on the hater.
He is just playing his little tune the whole entire time. He definitely popped that taunt intentionally the first time, right? He popped it before a kill happened.
I love it.
There you go. Well played, Z-Freak.
Oh, and look at Limp already. He tossed him back again, and there was another hero. It was actually Axe, but he just strolled on by. They are going to get the slow. If we have mana, it doesn't look like we do as the raindrop, but Qualifier, oh my. Qualifier just came back to the lane. He has a full bottle at least, as well as 2 shared tangos, but if Moo was just there accidentally, they could have gotten another kill. And instead, it's MSS, Arcane Rune, level 3 Beastman. Whoa, hey there. Kyle says hello, and he could be in a little trouble. Torrent will fly up, actually hits on the board, so let's bring that down. What just happened? There's just 5 heroes mid out of nowhere now. Chessie and Kyle looks like they're rotating lanes.
They have to get Moo out of that lane because a melee hero, especially one that doesn't have any sort of way to threaten the Dusa, is just going to be eaten alive by the snake every single time. So he's got to get away from this lane. So he just trucks himself all the way down to bottom lane, and they, in turn, are going to try and go top with the Jakiro.
And man, poor Qualifier has to go into the jungle. He's just getting dominated by these tosses middle. They had limited mana coming from the IO. You see why it's such a powerful thing. And I mean, Qualifier, they had a 3-0 start cap, but Limp was never behind.
And this is why the Storm Spirit lane is so bad. But at the same time, they're probably thinking...
Looks like Chessie is getting gone on. Bulba, though, just gets turned on. They're going to slow him down. Kyle actually going for the snipe. He fakes it out. He actually does hit it, and this should be a kill. Chessie has dual breath. Does he even need it? Liquid fire? I don't think he needed it, but he got the kill anyways, and it is now tied 3-3. coL with good rotation from Kyle. And pardon me, didn't mean to interrupt you so rudely.
No, absolutely not, Grant. I never want to impede your play-by-play, sir. The difference is now, like, yes, you can be followed, right? The Deuce is just going to head down to the bottom lane, but here, Moo can cut the creep wave. He couldn't do that in the situation where he's in his own safe lane. You can't cut the off-lane tower lane very easily. It just puts you into too dangerous of a spot, right? Like, you're in the middle of basically 3 towers.
Whoa.
Shrine in tier 1 and tier 2.
Well, hello. And now Moo will just get both runes. And oh my god, Moo was actually like 20 experience away, and the chicken flew over his head. If he had that 20 more experience, he could have dunked it. Dunk instantly killing flying couriers. But man, he just gets both runes. And this is sad. The Storm rotated all the way bottom with, at least he had boots. He's just moving. But top lane, some sort of initiations going. It's Chessie onto Bulba. Demon though, Arctic burning above. Will they hold him in? They do. MSS here as well. Looks like they will just kill Jakiro. Look at how tanky this hero is. My god. Double torrent flies. Here's the IO. Will he actually get this save? Z-Free killing him up so much. It is the turnaround, and now Demon. cold embraced himself. And my god, the well played from Kyle.
Grant
Z-Freak is a god. Everyone knows it.
You asked me. You said, "What's the difference, though? Why would you run Jakiro coR? Like, you hated it, right?" But
whoa! I didn't hate it. I was questioning what he does. I said, what does he do better? And now you missed the kill. I saw that whole thing, but you just make yourself look dumb. Moo gets the kill on Qualifier, but. Okay, go on.
Okay, say this hypothetical person told me that he hates Jakiro coR, and he's like,
dumb.
why wouldn't you just be like, what does it do that a support doesn't? The difference is your timings are a lot different. Because as a coR, your damage and your tankiness are so overwhelmingly strong.
Middle lane. Oh, he actually missed the toss. Now he throws him back to Kyle. Tower will hit him once, twice, just once. Gets the X. Get a torrent him up in the air. It's a level 2 torrent, little extra damage. Limp's just sweet. I'm tossing him back again. Slowed by Z-Freak, and he gets the kill. And my god, the Z-Freak Limp combo, I actually, legitimately, people used to joke about, oh, it's the best in the world.
Limp's going for another one.
And he is. Stun comes out. He has the mana again. Toss him all the way back into the torrent. Already placed, and Demon, you can survive for a tad longer, but Limp is just going to sock your face with the rocks. And Kyle scoops up that kill. My, dude, this the IO tiny, man. There's, and just top lane, right? Chessie living, like you said, with those extra items and levels, and Z-Freak, if he can ever get there in time, you will not die. Almost dies middle, though.
Z-Freak.
Easy there, Angry Bear. He has a regen rune, though.
This is why the Deuce is supposed to be good against that lane, is that you're still susceptible to the toss back, but at least you can threaten them back with the snake really well.
And look at this, full 2 heroes getting full off that regen rune middle, but top lane, something's going down up here. Chessie pushing a tower, level 4 liquid fire. Bulba does find Kyle. This should be a reasonably easy kill. I don't think Z-Freak can fly halfway across the map this time. Kyle will go down, Chessie will just run away, but good damage on that tower. It is not deniable. But bottom lane, Qualifier is level 7 now, so a lot harder to kill, but Axe has a full Vanguard. Do you think, is he going to go Blink after that? Or
yeah.
Just Vanguard and a Blink. All right.
I like what he's doing for this lane, though. He can't kill him, but he can always just keep running at Qualifier.
not let him get any farm. He might get levels, but he won't get farm.
So Koifa always has the option to go jungle though, just like he did mid lane for a time.
Now top lane, Hawk flying up there, gonna scout anything out. Bulba, still only level 4, just rolling on up there, and 153rd pro game. Crazy to think a lot. I wonder if half of those were in the off lane.
Yeah.
You love playing there now. Mostly just playing it as a 4 roll. Crazy. All those 3 rolls just retiring to a nice life as a 4.
Yeah, it's a better place to be. It's the playmaking role now, where the off lane used to be. As the suicide laner, right? You didn't feel good about your laning phase, but you were always playing heroes that were the playmakers.
And now you do look at the hero levels though, and Tiny is falling a little bit behind because he is almost always with the IO. But still doing decent on the farm, has the treads. Usually we see treads drum in the blink. Looks like he's just gonna go treads in the blink for that catch, and Quakefa bottom. He has his ulti. Oh, if he let that call go, guess what? Kyle's here. X Torrent brings him back and gets the call on the creeps as well. 1 spin, 2 spin, no need for a dunk, easy kill. And man, we were talking about the 4 being the playmaker role, but Kyle has been in the right place, right time. Such good rotations from him. And they're just gonna go for the tower. They skip the creeps. Chessie's like, we don't take damage. Level 4 liquid fire. He has a full veil? Sure looks like it.
Similar to game 1 though, we do need to say this is the kind of pace of game that you should expect. Complexity should be ahead. They're gonna take a lot of early hero kills. They're gonna take a lot of towers, especially in the next 10 minutes. I would say, you know, we said, what, 25 minutes? We should take all the tier 2s for complexity. DC have not done that badly when it comes to farm in the laning phase. Even if they've been clowned on repeatedly by mid, they have gotten all the farm that they kind of need.
Oh, look at this smoke middle, but Kyle, he's here. He actually breaks it. Oh my goodness. They have a roar. They have book 1. He actually tossed the creep iron. I said they get the raw on IO. He should go down. Mason right clicks. Some nice torrent hits up too. But nice gank coming in, and Tiny just runs away. X marks the spot. He's going to fly on Mason. He does not have enough for Torrent. Well, he has magic one. There we go.
Oh,
Moo gets in. He gets the double. Will they get enough spins? Torrent's going to fly. He can dunk him. Sure does. Now Mason losing all his mana. Kyle still here. Here comes the boat. Ahoy! But Limp running out of everything else. They're going to try to bring him down. Z-Freak plus Moo doing so much. Bulba just runs in, gets spun on 3 times. They're trying to bring Mason down. Moo has his ulti. He needs a few more attacks. Now it's Z-Freak versus Bulba. Limp has no mana to do anything. And now Storm just kiting around this axe. Arctic Burn going to slow him so much. But look who's here. Chessie on the side. Will he be able to do anything? Save him up? Will he go for the suicide? He's just going uphill. Looks like Moo will go down. Gets the call. Has plenty of armor. He's still living. He's just juking and jiving. Chessie gets a kill on Demon on the back, and Bulba. Oh, he made it very
risky.
He could have hooked, got spun on, but he gets the kill. And you know, DC, they'll take that fight.
Yeah,
Medusa's
absolutely.
so tanky, man. When you don't have any physical damage on your team, you have a rough time taking down Medusa.
On top of that, he had a 17-1 stick that he was able to use there, and he used it to turn around and get a Mystic Snake off, which then hit, I think, 3, maybe 4 heroes.
Damn.
So he got a lot of mana back into himself, making him even tankier. And I love the way that DC set that up. They're like, okay, if you're this whole entire time, you're running forward, tossing this hero into the Wisp, why don't we just smoke up and position ourselves on the Wisp?
Yep, and here we see it. It looked like Limp actually did miss his toss, which hurt him, and then they just roar him, kill him.
I mean, if anything, it would have been better for DC, right? All of a sudden, Dusa's on top of the Wisp that they're
Just
ganking.
ulties on him.
Yeah.
And right.
Oh, combo.
Here we go. Can they get him bottom? It's Storm. Do they get in time? They sure do. Instantly blown up.
Toss the dead body.
Chuck
Savage
him
win.
into the air. And, well, top lane. Looks like they're going for Chessie. Chessie macro pyres to push out the wave. Smart play there, but the range creep is going to survive.
Bulba catches Chessie, but they are going to make the rotation with a Tiny. This is going to be really bad for DC.
He does hook forward. Can they kill Chessie? So tanky with the strength treads. He still has stick charge as well. And guess who's here? It's Z-Freak. Limp toss him into the air. Can they get Bulba as well? Orb will scout him out. Won't stop him, unfortunately. Dire, they're scanning. They already know he TP'd out now.
They created this space, though, to be able to maybe take mid tower, which is important for Mason. They already popped TPs for top lane, and they used the relocate to hit bottom, so no interference for this mid push.
They are up 2K on complexity, but Mason has only died 1 time, almost to 100 CS here. Where do you go on Medusa after the Mask of Madness? Like, a lot of other cores would go, like, say, Mant or something, but I think Mant is pretty garbage on Medusa.
Yeah, at the same time, I don't think Lincoln's is particularly strong here. It stops the X. That's about it. Maybe the Culling Blade. But
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, does he just need to go damage, or does he need a tank up?
I think Yasha is not a bad choice here. I think he needs at least that little bit of boost in damage. Maybe go the... Is Hurricane Pike good here, or maybe just Dragonlance? Just get kind of those
Looks like
smaller
that's what he is
stat,
going, yeah.
those small stat items that build up your attack damage. I think is kind of the build up right now.
Sounds about right. And looks like middle, they are pushing it on the dire side. Moo is the first one to level 12. Has that level 2 Culling Blade. Bottom, uh-oh, Torrent is gonna fly. They're gonna fly forward, and Quakefoot will find Kyle. Bo will come in, help him survive a little bit longer, and he's just gonna run, bide a little bit of his time. Throws up a Torrent, stops Quakefoot in his tracks. But that's that. Top lane, we see Limp with that tree, has Z-Freak right by his side.
And he's got blinks, so...
If they find, oh, and this storm needs to be careful.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! Limp does just whip it, and then he throws a creep. Oh, hooks onto Z-Freak, could be in a lot of trouble here. He's just gonna die. And they got super good. They did not know Quakefoot had already TP'd in there without a ward being down. Hard to know that was happening, and a missed combo by Limp. And look at this, the Hawk scouts him out. Mason's here, draining all of his mana, still has 7 charges. Here comes Kunkka. And the aggressiveness by Complexity is getting matched step for step now by DC.
Pretty dangerous.
What's Volba doing?
Jesus.
Well, MSS is here with him now. He has an Alpha Wolf, actually one of the worst creeps you can probably get about this early into the game. Damage is nice, but love another lockdown. They're just sitting here. That's IO TPing in. He's ready to help Limp out. Uh-oh, they rock it. Do they know Z-Freak's here? He's coming in. They want to get the roar on Z-Freak. They do. Has the raindrop. Tanks up a little bit. Mason's coming in. Does he have ulti? Doesn't need it. He has the Mystic Snake. Actually gets X-Mark back, but Z-Freak does drop already. Kyle in a lot of trouble. He will die. Boat's going to fly in. That's that. That's a 2-for-0 trade.
But it's also a 2-for-1 trade to the favor of Complexity. They got the mid tower as well as the bottom tier 2. And I was watching the way Moo and Chessie were playing during, because they were kind of trapped at top lane. And I said, okay, Complexity either going to 5-man fight up here, or they're just going to go for towers. And they decided that was not a fight that they wanted to take. It's a bit too risky. So they just give up their supports. They take towers, they take objectives in return. I think that's still acceptable.
Like that?
Yeah, I think it would have been a bad idea to try and mass TP into that tier 1 tower, and where you're basically trapped. You're locked underneath that tower. You're surrounded by DC members. That could be the fight that loses you the game, actually.
Oh my goodness, and they're getting a ton of damage on that tier 3. I mean, Demon can't handle this siege unit. Oh my God, it actually, one more? Almost below 1,000, just like that, by not even doing anything. Just, like you said, good awareness by Chessie and Moo. Realizing a bad fight was about to be taken, they get out of there, get a lot of team gold, so even though their friends are dying, guess what? Have a little gold.
Oh, hey, the Jakiro core got a buff. I didn't realize this, but Kaya, you know?
Ooh.
You think about that, Kaya actually adds so much to a Jakiro.
That's gonna be, can't wait to see all those spells just flying left and right. But it looks like a smoke comes up. He places the ward, so he sees it is being farmed. Can they get Mason here? It is level 3X actually, not even level 4, so a little less range. And IO Tiny, we haven't seen much out of him in the last, what, 5 minutes now? They just haven't been, I mean, that's the thing, right? You talked about DC, their positioning, they never really take a bad fight.
Look,
They don't see it.
he knows that it's a potential for the smoke gank.
Oh, he actually maybe blocked the hook technically, and here we go, the ulti is gonna fly from Z-Freak. Oh my God, he did get it.
There was no tether.
What? That was the most last
He literally
second.
popped it like the same millisecond that the relocate back went. That's how you know you're a good goddamn Wisp player.
Yep. And I love the awareness. The DC knows, they're like, all right, we could stay here, possibly kill Z-Freak, but they knew Tiny had already TP'd to, oh, maybe that ward. He TP'd to the tier 2 and they had that ward up there, probably scouted out. The Limp was coming back.
One of the things is that against the Clockwork, you do need to be really good about getting the last second jump with the relocate saves with the tether, because otherwise you're going to run into the cogs while you're trying to relocate and the relocate is charging and you tether into the hero, you're going to run into cogs and it's going to stop your relocate charge.
And look at this top lane. We see the power of tree grab plus that liquid fire. And they just group up. They get the tower, and Chessie, guy's tanky, does some damage. Has a full Kaya now if he wants to purchase it. But bottom lane, Moo actually gets the jump on Quake who wanted to farm. Is anyone else down here? Doesn't look like it. It's actually a Beastmaster and Clockwork and Moo. Lucky nothing else happened there. We did have a Roar as well as a Centaur Conqueror ready for him.
I like this Blink Dagger choice. It's a bit of a deviation from the straight Necronomicon 3s that we've seen a lot. Necro 3 is a lot stronger, but here they need the extra initiation to get to it.
They're going on Moon. Nice dodge by Quake, but they're going to pull him in. Still has that armor, but he gets melted by that snake. Does Mason have his ulti? Sure does. Pops it out. Boat's going to come in, hit Mason, give him all that rum. And is that going to be anything that's happening? Here comes Z-Freak as well as Limp. Limp actually tosses Bulba out. Might have tossed him to Z-Freak's demise, unfortunately. But Chesty with a huge double. Moon pulls in. The neutrals are going to kill him, though. Or will they? Yeah, they sure will. And they're going to go for more. Can Limp get him? He doesn't have a blink yet because Arctic Burn chilling his bones a little bit. And that's a 2-for-2 trade, but Complexity, I'm pretty sure, is completely happy with that. They do get the Medusa. And technically, Moo did die to the neutral, so he's dead a little bit longer, but doesn't give away that gold.
No, that's perfectly fine for Complexity. Unfortunately, they didn't get the deny in the bottom tier 1 tower. That is the small upgrade for DC. The Kaya is complete, but at the same time, so is the Bloodstone for DC. So Complexity are better at fighting. They're really reaching their big window where they should be pretty much inarguably stronger when it comes to team fights. But if DC do get the right kind of initiation, or just the team fight ends up going their way somehow, they're going to get such a huge advantage out of it because Dusa farms incredibly fast right now. Beastmaster would close in on his timing to Necro 3, and Storm would start getting Bloodstone charges. So as coL, you have to be really careful about Smoke Ganks right now, and you need to make sure you get the right kind of initiation for the team fight.
And you need to make sure you have some sort of Dust or Sentry because Z-Freak has picked up that Glimmer Cape. And that could be a very game-changing thing if no one's carrying around Dust. And now Tiny has his Echo Saber, get a go for an Assault Cuirass. It is so fun to watch different people play different heroes. So much different than the RTZ carry Tiny. And we are gonna see top lane pushed out by DC here. Limp just swinging on him. Echo Saber double tree hit. Level 14 now. 20% magic resistance, pretty good this game.
I'm just looking at this Jakiro because he's got his level 15, so he just went the plus 40 dual breath damage, and he's got 8% out of his talent plus another 10% out of Kaya. Then on top of that, the Veil of Discord when he throws down on somebody with the magic damage.
And just got that level 4 Ice Path. 2.5 lockdown plus the axe. That Macro Pyre and dual breath are actually do so much damage if they catch more than one person.
You really could see big plays with the tether upgrade to Kunkka specifically because he groups people up with the bow. Yeah, setting up the Ice Path Macro Pyre, that'd be huge.
Wait, they don't group up anymore. Isn't it just like 4 boats come out?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is. No, wait, isn't that a talent?
No.
It's the Ghost Ship Fleet.
Oh, is it?
25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
C-Cap. Wait, great.
So wait. With
great
the Ags,
analyzation.
does that mean every single one of the boats groups them up? Damn, I haven't seen that. That's sick.
My God.
He just can't escape.
All members of the poop deck, 4 ships just flying on him. And also, Limp killed Jimmy while we were having that great discussion, but that's to be expected with a Blank Dagger Tiny Echo Saber.
You think Jimmy's life is more important than our conversation, Glenn?
Absolutely not. Roar is going to fly out bottom. Ton of damage going out, but Moo has a blade mill. They have to be very careful doing damage to him. Well, no, they really don't. They just killed him. Limp actually blinks forward. He gets hit by the cogs. Nicely done by Bulba. If even not intentional, Z-Freak taking a ton of damage. There's the Glimmer Cape we talked about, though. It looks like it might just be a 1-for-0 unless they find Bulba. Whoa, tree gets thrown. Guess who found him? Chesty actually does. Looks like it should be a kill. He's going to hook forward, but that's a ton of damage going, and guess what? Kyle says you're not getting out of here. X marks the spot in, but look at the rest of the next fire, and what a bolt! It's not to him. Can they get Qualifier? He's gonna try to zip away. He's taking so much damage from the Kaya, though. Dual breath will pick him off. Demon trying to walk away. Look who's here. It's the chest god, and he is dancing and doing flips here. Chesty triple kill. Veil Kaya, 8% spell amp. This is the flashiest Jakiro I have seen in some time.
Dude, Koifa he couldn't zip enough. Like, he just had the burn on him, and he had to continually zip, but he just ran out of mana. So then he just ends up burning to death on the back lines.
Jiminy Jilkers. But Storm coming back in now, finds Chesty. He has the Kaya now as well, and I have heard many people talk about, you know, some stuff is strong, But Kaya on Storm Spirit, one of those things that might be better than strong, but he still lives. Chessie's so tanky.
Yeah, DC actually, I'm super impressed that they didn't continue to go for that kill. Because if they would have, it would have been a terrible situation for them. They would have been caught by Moo, who's making the rotation.
Yep. And now Mason finds a double damage, almost kills Z-Freak there, but he just glimmers away. And Mason does have that Hurricane Pike like you talked about, going for the Eye of Scotty next. A little bit of damage, a lot of slow, a lot of survivability.
Grant?
Yes, sir.
Complexity looked great, but I am getting a little bit concerned for them. They just aren't running over DC as quick as I feel like they need to. And we are looking at a Dusa that's beginning to pick up speed, and a Storm Spirit with the Kaya complete, again, as you were saying, it's a huge difference playing the Storm Spirit.
And you know, there's always going to be, he's going to find an arcane room, whether you like it or not. If you're a fan of the team or not, he's going to find one, and you're going to see that hero just, if he doesn't get locked down by Moo or Chessie, he's going to run over you. But they do have a lot to lock the Storm down, like we saw last fight. That
Yeah, the biggest
bow by
thing is
Kyle.
Avalanche and the initiation from Axe.
Ooh, here we go. Smoke gank from the Dire side. Chessie level 18 now. You don't ever think about Macro Pyre actually being a big damage source, but it more than likely is going to be their biggest one.
This is not very well hidden, this smoke rotation from Complexity. It's, I guess, a little bit better with Chessie showing mid. But with bottom lane push, with mid pushing in from DC, the big push that was coming in, there's not a whole lot of heroes showing on the map. You can see that's exactly why they smoke up behind the Dusa push, expecting a rotation from coL.
Oh, and they were maybe just waiting Tiny to finish his assault cares. And there we go, Moose blinging in, gets him that blade mill. Chessie is gonna lock down, Vods coming in. He's taking so much damage. Lip on the other side kills the Winter Wyvern. Mason does somehow get the tower. They're trying to get him, he gets his ulti out. Bulba gets him in, cogs them all. Qualifier on the backside just zipping around. He's gonna kill Z-Freak. Doesn't have the Glimmer Cape. He's still not dead, actually. Now he goes forward, finally picks him off. And it's a 1-for-1 trade right now. Moo gets Battle Hunger off. See you later, MSS. And now Qualifier, he gets sent back. Guess what? X into Ice Path. A true combo, my friend.
You know how crazy that is that they initiated on the Dusa? It's like the worst situation that Complexity put themselves in. They called a Dusa, doesn't do anything. But it's the initiating lockdown on the Deuce that leads into a Macro Pyre that was so much damage that the Dusa, who's supposed to be like the tankiest hero right now in the game, tankiest hero by far, in fact, out of the whole entire game. If you look at the spike that Deuces get at this time, 1500 HP combined with a large mana pool, like this hero is monstrous, but they had the big Macro Pyre over the top and locked the hero down, follow up with the Ghost Ship. That Dusa, they just need more Force Staffs from DC.
Chessie gets the gold per minute, has a full Shiva's Guard now. This guy's a beast. This guy is a beast on that Jakiro. But still, like you said, a ticking time bomb possibly with this Medusa. We did see her survive that fight, had to sacrifice a lot of her team, but the more farms she get.
They got to get Scotty in level 20. That's the time that Dusa comes online the most, I would feel. It's one of the bigger peaks because you get the 800 mana, huge increase in tankiness, and then your Scotty makes you a lot more relevant in team fights.
And he's only about 300, 400 off of Scotty, so he will have it for that next fight. Well, I say that, and then I see the 3 smoked up with an IO Tiny pushing. This fight might start early. Oh, okay, not going to be much of a fight. It's going to be Bulba getting handled by the smoke gank of coL.
It tanks the smoke.
Look at that farm up the cogs, get that extra gold.
But this leads to Complexity taking Roshan. And Aegis, best way for them to be able to hit that tier 3.
And I love it. They realize they're going to need a little bit of help late game if they don't destroy buildings. So Tiny is going to go for that butterfly. With the Echo Saber tree grab, those towers are going to just disappear.
Yeah, they are.
But we do see, I think, DC more than likely knows what's up with Roshan getting taken, so they just decide to split push out mid and bottom. But Z-Freak does a nice job of pushing out middle himself by a solo IO.
Yeah, I think maybe I underestimated how well coL continues to scale in this 30-35 minute area, just because the Jakiro does so much damage.
He does. Well, no, you said the game would end in like 40 to 50 minutes, and it's if coL has their way.
Yeah, I guess it was just surprising me watching the Dusa and how quickly she ticked down from the Macro Pyre with this much magic amp on him.
Extra dual breath damage as well on that tower, like you said. Ton. Oh my, highest level Jakiro has been 27-minute mark. was Mason, actually. So, you know, breaking records and breaking his hopes of going further in this major, maybe. And there we go, they push forward. He doesn't even need it. Oh my goodness, he tosses Mason back, and here we go again. They're going him, they get the call. Will they be able to get him? Boat flies in, so much damage, but he's taken up. Can he get his ulti up? He loses all his mana, he can't. Nice 4-step away. Limp is actually going down. Guess what? He has the Aegis though. And Z-Freak says, you're not losing that Aegis on my watch. Corn comes out, hits on 2 of them. Mason, oh no, that's a lot of damage. Glimmer Cape comes out, but Mason goes down. Toss back forward, but he dies. The only person who looks like they're trying to bring down Moo. That would be a nice kill for him. Z-Freak's here, still healing up Limp. Hurls a tree at Qualifier space. Z-Freak, oh my goodness, what a play, tossed into call. Complexity's team fight, it might be too good. Just their coordination, communication, all of the C's.
And look at it, they're just gonna heal up so quickly with the X send back.
And he gave his bottle to him.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my, wait.
No, Jesse.
Oh, now he got it. Okay, that seemed a little long, but there we go. Wait, he blinked to get a train. He realized it was off cooldown, but there we go. They're going to try to bring down this tower, and Mason, like you said, just that ticking damage from Chessie as well as the Torrent. My God. It feels like Medusa's not even taking it. Look who they found. Limp, the king of finding these tossbacks. And Moo actually dunks a creep, so they get that extra attack speed. I like it.
I think this was a tremendous error in hindsight. Going for, I understand why he went for Spirit Vessel, like great item versus the Tiny Wisp, prevent the healing and such, but these force staffs are really important to get the Medusa out of the macro fire and then the boat as well.
Oh, and they're going on Mason again, Cap. Oh my, what, hello?
Nice
Mason has no HP, and they're going for Z-Freak again. Koikva wants to bring him down. They're trying to. Limp on the backside. He's tossing the back into the ice path, and they're going to find 2 of them. Do they have enough damage? They sure do. Chessie is just going bonkers. Will he find MSS as well? Limp will get the kill, but what can they do besides buy back? Mason has a Scotty, so he didn't lose much gold, but he just died twice in a row. Oh my goodness, and Limp.
Shield on?
No, he had it on, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, but they just do ton of, and look at right now, Storm's in a lot of, my God, he just dropped. That was a buyback. We might be seeing the G's dropped here. Boba as well getting chased down now by Moo. He still has 4-step plus that. Uh-oh, Io does get Winter Wyvern ulted, but it was only him over there, and there goes Demon. What? Just like that. 1-2 team fights in the base, and Complexity. What a freaking scary team, man.
Yeah, DC letting them have the most comfort of comfort.
This is more comfortable than the lazy boy for them. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, not the leather ones either, where like you're sitting naked and your ass gets stuck to the chair.
Yeah, you get all sweaty and stuff.
Yeah, I hate that.
You don't want that.
And there we go. They're not getting a good game out. This is the end of their run if they do, so they're gonna at least fight till the end. They have a Medusa. You got that 1% chance of killing Megas. They haven't even got Megas yet, pardon me. Mason just right-clicking them. Now they have the Megas. No, they don't. Is middle? No, now they do, pardon me. Kyle will be going down here, but the 32-30 creeps will spawn as those big boys. MSS was trying to split push top, didn't get anything done, and look who's coming. Nope. Good game, good job called. And wow.
They didn't want to call it earlier, but they call it now.
I really don't know. I mean, I know what to say. I mean, Complexity, and just like you said, 32 minutes. It felt like Medusa was getting farmed, and then just out of nowhere, they just get a bunch of pickups. Chessie, by far, I have never seen that much farm on a young man on that Jakiro. Actually, less farm than Tiny, but more levels, more everything.
You know what Complexity was always good in the past is that they're really good at being able to, well, maybe not good, but this is what they did, right?